start with Dan B. And I want to thank Dan B for the very generous $200. Thank you, Dan. Dan says, thanks for your insight, perspective, and especially for the great stories. I have two questions. Number one, I had the great pleasure of growing up in Iran in the 1970s. Wow. It pains my soul to see the country getting bombed. The Iranians blessed me and my family with a totally ingrained sense of welcoming, graciousness, and respect that I have not experienced anywhere else. Can the highly educated and moderate population take back the country from the mullahs? What do you think the odds are? And two, do you think that Israel will ever be held accountable for their decades of terrorism, illegal war crimes, apartheid rule, and attempted genocide of the Palestinian people? Or will AIPAC just continue to run things on both sides of the aisle while being largely overlooked by a large percentage of ignorant and apathetic taxpayers? Again, thanks for everything you've done and for your extremely enlightening content. I sincerely hope that you receive a pardon, but if that's not the case, there are many, many citizens who support you fully and the actions you've taken in your selfless actions to expose the truth for the greater good. Mad respect. Thank you very much for that, first of all. Two outstanding questions. So number one, I'm actually a little jealous that you were able to grow up in 1970s Iran. I'm not sure that we'll ever see a country like Iran in the 1970s. But first of all, I actually do think that it's possible for the population, which is highly educated and moderate, to take back the country. I don't believe that they can do it behind the force of American bombs, because, this is something that was crystal clear to those of us in the CIA in the aughts when we were attacking Iraq, that we would not be seen as liberators. We would be seen as invaders and occupiers. And this is like a lesson that as a government, we just don't learn. Do Iranians love the mullahs? Most don't. Do Iranians wish they had a real functioning democracy? Most do. But bombing them and murdering them from great distances and purposely collapsing their economy is not going to make them love us. It's going to make them rally around their government. And that's exactly what we're seeing. I have to say, Benjamin Netanyahu fed Donald Trump a serious line when he convinced President Trump that as soon as we fired the first missile, the Iranian government would collapse like a house of cards. Nobody who knows anything about Iran thought that would be the case. Nobody. And I'm not even sure that Netanyahu believed it, but he certainly convinced Trump that that was it. And so this is just not a way to improve the lives or the lot of the Iranian people. This is certainly a way to improve things for the Israelis. At least they thought so 2 or 3 weeks ago, because the Israelis benefit from chaos in Iran. If the Iranians are busy fighting themselves, they're too busy then to fight the Israelis. That was the calculation. It's not working out that way. And I don't think this Iranian government's going anywhere, at least not in the near term. Two, about Israel and being held accountable. God forgive me, I don't think the Israelis will ever be held accountable so long as the United States is covering for them. What you described here, terrorism, illegal war crimes, apartheid rule, genocide, it's all true. That's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's taking place. And I would encourage anybody who disagrees with that to go to Israel, go and see it for yourself. Aside from, Tel Aviv, Haifa, and West Jerusalem, the rest of the country is the world's largest open-air prison. And apartheid is exactly what it is. Separate but equal is never equal. And it's worse than separate but equal. It's separate and we're going to kill you and steal your land and murder your children and blow up your buildings. Or you can leave, which is what we want you to do anyway. That's what the Israeli message is. I believe AIPAC will probably continue to run things here in American politics. The Democrats are just as guilty as the Republicans of buckling under the pressure of AIPAC. But I think we may be seeing the beginning of something really great. Over the weekend, Tucker Carlson was referred to the Justice Department for prosecution. He was referred, he thought by the CIA for being in touch with the Iranians. He was trying to get an interview with Iranian leaders. He was not referred to the DOJ by the CIA. He was referred there by Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer is an extremist nut who has been banned for life by Uber, by Lyft, by Target, and by other companies because she's guilty of hate crimes against Muslims and specifically Arabs. There are not very many people in public life as hateful and angry and bigoted as Laura Loomer. So Laura is doing AIPAC's dirty work here by trying to silence Tucker Carlson. She doesn't know Tucker Carlson at all. This isn't going to silence him. It's going to embolden him. I hope it does, because Tucker right now is one of very, very few people who is willing to push back on AIPAC and its outsized influence on American politics. I'm gonna tweet something today. I'm gonna write something today expressing my support of Tucker Carlson on this issue. I think this is a time where we need to stand together and push back against Israeli power in American politics. I will not answer to AIPAC. Tucker will not. Candace Owen will not. And there are others. So we have to encourage people on both the left and the right to stand up against AIPAC, to stand up against Israel, and to stand in support of human rights, whether Palestinian or Iranian or anybody else's. So thank you for that outstanding question.